Dude, I bought a Dell. No, seriously, all jokes aside, I bought a Dell.
I put down the cans and they ran muck. My hairpin, bare skin, rupture spleens, cracked ribs go through cribs and other things.
What's good, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon. We got the Dell Venue Pro 8 in the building. That's about 2 words too long, but hey, that's the name and we're rocking out with it. So what you get here is, I suppose, technically the second 8-inch Windows 8 tablet to market. Acer had one that people really didn't like, and here comes Dell throwing their hat in the ring, and it is a nice hat. Let me tell you, I like what I see here. I like what I have in this package. So let's take a look at the specs and see what this thing is about. It comes with an Atom processor clocked at 1.8 gigahertz, and it is a quad core with a 2 megs of cache on there. And this is not the Atom processor we're used to from the netbook age. I feel like netbooks really ruined anything called Atom. Performance was terrible. You know, it was one of those things where you say, yeah, you get what you paid for. But this is not that. This is a whole new attempt from Intel, and yeah, it's nice. I like it. It's got 2 gigs of RAM on board, whatever piece of graphics technology Intel's got going on there, which is actually pretty decent. I play some games on here. We'll get into that later. You get your Bluetooth, you get your Wi-Fi. You do not get NFC though. That may be a deal breaker to a few people out there. It is what it is. Then you get this micro USB charging slot, your headphone jack, which also doubles as your microphone, micro SD expandable up to 64 gigs, and you're gonna want to get a 64 gig card. We'll talk about that in a bit as well. And then finally you get this 8-inch IPS display with a WXGA resolution, so it's 1280 by 800, and it's a 10-point capacitive touchscreen as well, so it's really responsive, it's really intelligent. And of course it works with the optional stylus, which I don't have right now. I regret not getting it, and again we'll get into that, but yeah, I didn't get the stylus. Boo-hoo to me. So right off the bat, this thing spec'd pretty decently, right? Like if you were to put this up against, I don't know, a netbook in these days and age, it would probably, wait, do netbooks still exist? But this would probably be the specs of a netbook. Sure, it's not as strong as what a quote-unquote ultrabook would be, right? Which is something like, we're talking the Surfaces, the Surface Pros actually, the Sony's new Tab. Those are ultrabooks, and this is just its own thing. But what's really interesting is they managed to pack these specs into an 8-inch display that's relatively thin and light. Design wise, I mean, there isn't really much to talk about. It definitely isn't a design that'll knock you out of your seat, but it's not ugly either, so that's a good thing. I guess you could say it's a very safe design. On the back you got this spiral design, these ridges, and it makes it easier to hold for sure. And it also attracts a fair bit of finger marks, fingerprints, and smudges. You got the big Dell logo there, your 5 megapixel camera at the back, and Intel inside. Yay for Intel. They want to let us know what's inside. Off on the side you've got your micro USB charging port, your power button, volume up, volume down. And right under that you have your micro SD slot. At the top there's the very awkwardly placed Windows key, which some people will probably think is a power button at first. Interestingly enough, if the device is in sleep mode and you tap the Windows key, it'll turn on. How about that? There's your headphone jack next to it. On the left side there's nothing. On the bottom there's the speaker grill, and the speaker is really good actually. Not bassy, but it does a good job at being very loud without actually cracking. So I can rock out with that. It's good. It's good. There's actually 2 lights on the device. One that's right between the power button and the micro USB. This one only shows up when you're charging it. tell you the truth, I haven't paid attention if it changes colors when the battery is fully charged. Huh. Maybe I should have paid attention. And then there's one right next to the front-facing camera, and this is a nice looking light, if there's such a thing, but it turns on when either camera is activated. I would have liked for Dell to use this as a notification light as opposed to just when the camera's on, but it's full Windows on here, so yeah, somebody fire up the registry and get the hack and let's know what we need to do here. In terms of size, I praised the iPad mini not because it was an iPad, or not even for its design, which was good by the way, but I praised it because of the physical size of it. I felt like that size was just perfect for a tablet. And again, here we go. I can't get over the size of this thing. To have something that's so powerful that I can hold comfortably in my hand, and I can be a bit inconspicuous. I can be on the train without looking like I'm holding a TV. This is really dope to me. I can't say enough for an 8-inch tablet or 7-inch tablet. In terms of features, Dell was pretty standoffish here, which is a good thing because these OEMs, man, they like to get in there and really put their crap all over things. So I was happy to see Dell really stand off here. This is pretty much pure Windows, a pure Windows experience. The only thing Dell is you get like their registration madness in the beginning, and then they have their update utility in there. You can check for new drivers or firmware, which by the way should be handled through Windows Update anyway, but whatever. What I would have liked is for Dell to include some configuration apps. Like for instance, I'm having issues with the Bluetooth on my headset. It's coming up as I think the headset sees it as a phone profile, so it won't pair with my actual phone. I can't do both at a time. So I wish they had a little utility that could just toggle which profiles I want for the Bluetooth. I just want music, that's it. But yeah, it's still a really good experience. And for those of you who have not dived into Windows 8.1 yet, or Windows 8 for that matter, look out for my Windows 8.1 review. I'm actually doing two videos. One is the review, and then the other would be how to use it both on a PC with a mouse and keyboard, and the second would be on tablets. So look out for those when they're live. I'll put the links here, or just check back the channel. Make sure you subscribe so you can see those coming up. But the experience here is just raw Windows 8.1, and I can't say enough for that. I think it's where this device really shines. And yes, I'm reviewing this Dell, but this goes across the board to any of these these full-blown Windows 8.1 tablets, right? It's such a beautiful thing to use. Sure, I have access to the desktop, and you can make the icons a little larger, but it wasn't built for this. And to tell you the truth, I don't really use the desktop much. Most of my stuff is in Metro. But what elevates this tablet to another level is access to install x86 application. Now, we got a tip on our YouTube, shout out to the homie, that the chip is actually 64-bit capable, but the drivers just weren't ready. So we're supposed to be waiting to Dell to hear some word on that, and there might also be a 64-bit version with 4 gigs of RAM, same form factor, and that'll be pretty awesome. But as you can see here, right off the bat, something should stand out to you, right? There's Lightroom, there's Photoshop, and there's Chrome pinned to my taskbar. I don't think I need to explain that to anyone. This is powerful. And you launch Lightroom, you launch Photoshop, and just for demonstration's sake, I'll do both at the same time, whatever. But they work, they're functional, you get what I mean? And I don't want to get into the debate of, yeah, well, you can't do batch editing, and so like this is not a workhorse. This is a tablet. This is something that with this size you can walk around with. But to know that I have access to everything on my SkyDrive, I keep all of my documents, my PSD files, everything on SkyDrive. To know that I can just copy something over really quick and finish working on it on a train, or review it, made a slight change. This is the power that was promised to us with tablets, and it's a really dope time in technology to see this actually come to fruition, and I can't get enough of it. Also, like something silly like the battle log for Battlefield, right, where they take all the stats and put it on a website, and you can edit your loadout for your soldiers and whatnot. There's a plugin that thing requires. I was able to install it. I can run it. You get what I mean? And there's no Windows 8 battle log app, as so many other services out there, but you have full access to the website, and this is all of these apps out here pretty much are watered down versions of whatever the website would offer. Man, this is so dope. It's such a liberating device and such a liberating setup. You know, I often find that I'm using my workhorse machine a lot less and only for work, because I have the flexibility with this Venue 8. There's a lot to be said for this guy, and I really admire this device. And it's not only this device, right? It's any of these newer 8-inch full-blown Windows 8.1 tablets. They're so powerful. There's really no compromise here. It's thin, it's light, the battery life is awesome. I really do get a full day out of this thing. And I mean, listening to music, watching YouTube videos, getting in there and fixing an item in Photoshop. It's all there. It's really no compromise. I think this is the threshold where people will start to accept Windows 8 and 8.1 especially. And this is the device where if you haven't tackled the learning curve of Windows 8, this is it. This is where you're going to do it. And I really feel like this is a worthy replacement to netbooks. Netbooks sucked, yes, but they got the job done and they were cheap. And then you figure the price on this thing, it starts at $300 for a 32 gig model. Wow, there's no reason for you not to own this, right? And quick tip, if you get the 32 gig model, make sure you get a 64 gig card, because the OS eats up a good chunk of that, and when you're done installing all your crap on there, you know, you're gonna need more space. So just go out there and get the card if you don't have one already, and you know that'll set you up nicely. You could also, what I did was I bought the OTG micro USB to USB adapter, so you know I can do things like plug in my Yeti mic and do recording. You can plug in a keyboard, anything USB you can plug in. So you'll want to do that because it isn't a full-size USB port. In terms of the actual tablet itself, probably the only complaint I had is I really miss a kickstand. Oh my god, after owning the Surface for a year, and you know, for me, one of my morning rituals is just browsing YouTube, watching videos. So I'll have the Surface on the kickstand upright while I get ready. That doesn't happen here, and I miss it so much. And I'm not one to buy a case to put on a device because I hate the way cases make things look. So it would have been nice to have this really included. Hi Microsoft, how are you? Where is my Surface RT Mini? Yeah, but for $300 and a full-blown installation of Windows, I think this tablet specifically, and even on a more broad scale, the others like it will be the I don't know how to phrase this. This will be the savior of Windows 8, and I hate to say it like that because I don't think Windows 8 is in trouble, but this will sway the mind share that it's difficult to use, or it, you know, the two UIs, the traditional UI and the Metro UI don't have a place together. It'll really change that for people. And the minute you get your hands on it and you see what it's about and you get over that learning curve, it's no looking back from here. This is definitely the most productive tablet I've ever owned. and I'm happy to say it at $300. Man, all things considered, this is a definite buy. Thanks for watching the review. Thanks for stopping by. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe. We've got plenty more coming. And yeah, leave a comment, man. Any questions you have, let us know, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. It's your boy Ramon, and I am out of here.